You're listening to 911 on the Rocks.
Hello, welcome back to 911 on the Rocks, the Fandom on the Rocks podcast. I'm Emily.
I'm Mandy.
And I'm Allison.
And this is season 1, episode 3, Next of Kin.
All right. I have a big on this, like right underneath this title that apparently we probably should have put in 1, 2 also. We will be talking about a suicide and like an attempted suicide in this episode. So if that is not a thing that you are prepared to sit with today,
This is true.
then pause out. We'll see you back next week.
I mean, surely that's a trigger warning for all of season 1.
It should be. It's an ongoing theme of season 1. So but today in particular, once again, we have to deal with the aftermath of an attempt. Just if today is not the day for you, take a pause. We'll see you soon.
So the rundown of this episode is Bobby and his team, which was weird, like the 118, respond to an emergency at a children's birthday party. The crew jumps into action after one of their own is involved in a devastating accident, and Athena tries to cope with a tragedy that hits way too close to home. This episode aired January 17th, 2018.
I appreciate that it's way too close to home as opposed to just in her home.
Directly inside of her home.
It's inside of her home.
Yeah.
Can't, in fact, get any closer to her home.
Could not, unless it was her.
Yeah, pretty much.
I love the wording of episode blurbs. They're just like give you a little taste, but they're also awkward as fuck.
And you know when the episode blurb is a nothing burger, that the episode's going to have something.
Yeah. Yeah, when the episode doesn't tell you anything, you're like, oh, something big's happening. So we open this episode with the bloop bloop, which, you know, you can't get as a tattoo, but I want to.
Yes, you could probably get the sound blip.
Yeah, that you scan it, just bloop, bloop.
You scan it.
Or the little brrr that appears on the screen.
Yeah.
So we have an awkward children's birthday party.
It opens on a shot of a clown, and I already know that this episode and I are not going to get along because the opening shot is like a sad clown
on stilts.
And I'm like, oh no, clowns.
Yeah. Sad clown on stilts. It's a 10th birthday party, and it's windy. I don't know if they mentioned that it was windy, but it is windy.
Did you know that there are winds in Los Angeles? Did you know that there are winds?
In a recurring theme, it is the show's first mention of the Santa Ana winds.
And if you've never lived in Los Angeles or been there in the springtime, the Santa Ana winds are real.
They are real. But
they're quite strong.
They are strong. The show does love to mention the Santa Ana winds.
It loves to blame the Santa Ana winds for stuff.
They're kind of like a dry, hot wind that comes screaming down the plain.
Exactly. It's real strong.
On the mountains, really.
Yeah.
So is that scenario realistic?
Yes.
A bouncy castle or the winds?
The bouncy castle being that
I don't know that it was like a good idea to do it during that time of year.
It would not have been a good idea. It would not have been recommended. Their insurance would have gone up.
It's definitely, you blame the Santa Ana winds on like wildfires, absolutely.
And on joints hurting.
Yeah.
But no, so the bouncy castle rental people would have been real specific about the height limit and weight limit and how many spikes were supposed to not. But
I was also, and I guess I just forgot that this family set up a bouncy castle on the edge of a cliff.
For reasons.
Stupid.
Who throws a child's birthday party on the edge of a cliff?
Like just straight up the edge of a cliff. I was like, hold on.
Why would you want that many kids? Even if there's no bouncy house, why would you want that many kids at the edge of a cliff?
Maybe they were downsizing.
With no information at all.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. In my neck of the woods, we don't really have safety rails and barriers like we do in the States.
I love that about Europe, actually. I gotta say.
You do have signs that say, sharp drop. Hey, heads up. There's a big cliff here.
Take personal responsibility. Don't fall down.
Responsibility. I'm telling you that there's a cliff. Heads up. Mm-hmm. But the fact that there are this entire child's birthday party with movable things on the side of a cliff. No, you did this to yourself, my friend.
It really did. Because you don't go in that fucking bouncy castle. You're too big. And
I
between
love that
him and the wind.
This regular dad, well, this rich dad, is talking to the other dads about his mom's just trying to turn him against me. And it's, you having fun, kid? And the kid is just dead ass, just staring at just nothing, just blank faced.
No, obviously not, Dad.
I've had this conversation. I've been in this room before.
Yeah. So obviously that castle goes flying because we wouldn't have a show if it didn't.
Well, because the dad follows the kids into the bouncy castle, violating the terms of service, considering he is over both the height and weight limit for the bouncy castle, and decides to do non-bouncy castle related things like trying to trampoline his son into the air and pops it out of its little safety nails.
Yeah, those do
Sir,
not look
what
properly.
did you think was going to happen?
I mean, I don't think you ever expect to go windsurfing.
I feel like those people don't have chronic anxiety.
This is true.
I worry about that constantly.
So,
About the wind sweeping you away.
The wind sweeping me away. If I am in some sort of contraption that isn't bolted to the ground, or at least isn't immediately easily shifted by the elements, of course I worry about it constantly.
I haven't considered the possibility, but I couldn't tell you the last time I'd been in a bouncy castle.
I'm now over the height and weight limit of a bouncy castle.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say it's been a long time
Been a minute.
since I was allowed in a bouncy castle. But so dad gets thrown out because of course he does. And a couple of the kids are still trapped inside. There's 3 kids in there, which
Yeah.
that's some strong wind. The house crashes into a cliff because it can't stay aloft that long.
Of course.
And who responds but our 118, our intrepid 118?
I really appreciate that we got to hear most of this 911 call. That it's
Yeah.
more than just 911, what's your emergency call line. And
Yeah.
then flash the emergency. That we actually got a little bit of a background, that we got a little thing. Also, this music constantly reminds me of Abby, just constantly and completely.
The kind of, I don't know how you describe it. Yeah, it's like action, like
Yeah.
cheap music.
Yeah, I think it's end credits music or whatever, but
Yeah.
it always reminds me of Abby Clark.
You know what's
Mandy's
interesting
love
too?
Abby Clark.
Compared to seasons 2 and beyond, you hear her calls.
Yeah.
You don't flash to the call center and watch her take the call.
No, and I kind of
Sure.
like that.
I kind
Does
of like it too.
It does give me less of Abby. Watching this episode, we get a lot of Abby as a person, not a lot of her as a professional,
Yeah.
which is something that they definitely change after season 1. We get to learn a lot more about
The call
the
center's like an
call
afterthought.
centers. Yeah, it's very much an afterthought. It's like Abby just happens to work there. But in season 2 and beyond, we actually get to know the dispatchers and get to know them as professionals and as people. And I like that.
Yeah, I
it
do
does.
too.
It does make me kind of wish that I got to know Abby as a professional a little more.
That
'Cause
would
I
be
get
good. Yeah.
I get increasingly
good.
frustrated with her in this episode. She is not very nice to her callers.
No, she's not, actually.
It just kind
I-
of grinds my gears a little
not.
bit.
She's
I-
not, but as someone who has a possibly unhealthy obsession with watching actual like 911 call videos on YouTube, most of them aren't.
Yeah.
I will say, like, it's pretty realistic. Like, most of them are very direct, very to the point, and very impatient
Mhm.
Yeah.
with people who probably need some patience.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think it's not an endearing quality of Abby's, but it is kind of realistic.
Yeah,
Which must be accidental because this show doesn't do realistic on purpose.
it doesn't. But
No.
you bring up a very interesting point, and I don't want to like totally go into season 2, but if she had stayed, it could have been kind of an interesting dichotomy with our future lead dispatcher
Yeah.
in how they approach calls, because sometimes our future lead dispatcher is way too invested
Yeah.
and empathetic and focused on the call or the person behind the call when we just need some information here.
And less on the call itself. It could have been really interesting.
Yeah. And Abby, we don't actually know how long Abby's been a dispatcher, do we? Is it
She talks about
wrong?
her life being comfortable
Yeah.
because of her job. So I imagine she's had it long enough to get her apartment, and
Her house.
it's an apartment.
Isn't it a house?
I think it's an apartment.
I was
Yeah,
considered it
'cause-
a house.
In season 2, they get keys from a landlord. I think it's an apartment.
But I think it would be interesting if she likes her job,
Yeah.
but she's purely professional at it. She's not
She has no investment.
yeah, she's not crying at the end of every call.
Yeah,
She's,
it
yeah,
could've-
hey, yeah, she's, this guy is like falling off a cliff. She's like, hey, I just need your information. Like, where are you? Like,
Yeah, I get a little frustrated with her because constantly, and maybe it's me because I'm constantly told this and it grinds my gears. It's, I can't hear you. I need you to speak up, please. And
Mm,
it's like, girl,
yeah.
friend, sweetheart, you could be just a smidgen bit softer.
But it would, I mean, you love Kate Argent, right? It
I
would be
do.
very cool to have a character, a lead or a second lead on the show who you don't automatically love.
It's true. It would be great to have someone who you're like not inherently supposed to love.
Because all of the 118 season 2 and beyond, you're just meant to love.
You're just meant to love. And you do kind of organically. There's a
Yeah.
reason that it shifts from the dispatch to the fire.
The
They need a Dr. Robbie level of like polarity in a character.
yeah, there isn't
Also, I
really
Googled Kate
anyone.
Argent and I understand that now.
Yeah,
Right,
my
there
girl.
isn't you're right, there isn't a Dr. Robbie who's a lead and that you're often a bit prickly about. You're like, "Damn, bro, like,
Yeah. Like,
chill."
I love this character, but I don't like him very much right now.
Yeah,
Like,
like, hey.
you can get the impression that none of the I don't know. I'll be honest. There are some characters in 911 I don't like a lot right now,
I can't
but
wait to
I'm
talk
aware
about
that
them.
that'll what?
Yes,
I'm so
very
excited. I'm so excited to hear who you're not liking and why.
yeah.
Excited.
Well, let's
Do
finish
you want?
well, we can finish the call. Do you wanna
Yeah,
finish
yeah.
the
We
call
can get
or
into
go
it.
into
Finish
the
the call.
characters? Okay.
Finish the
So
call and then we'll.
so we got the 118 on the scene. Interestingly to me, Bobby sends Hen and Buck down to
Yes.
repel. And because in the future, Hen is not doing hero shit. She
No.
does not pull that.
She does
Sh
medical shit.
And it seems like he sends her down so she can assess the kids,
Yeah.
but I don't remember the last time she's been in a harness. Like, she goes in during the big emergencies because everyone has to, but she's often driving the ambulance or something or they bring her people. It's not
Yeah, she's running triage, she's doing medical,
uh,
she's the doctor on scene as opposed to
like the big earthquake. That's one of her big hero moments, but she's not rappelling down.
no.
And so,
So yeah, because with the current staffing of the 118,
yeah,
you just had somebody leave more or less. So they bring in Buck. I'm convinced this is Buck's pro year.
it seems right.
That this is Buck's first year. And Buck doesn't really have a partner. And so he's kind of partnered with Bobby, like we saw during the pipe baby emergency.
Yeah.
And then you've got both Chim and Hen, who are like both paramedics, but they're not super teamed up together. Really, they're both just like they're firefighters, but they're also medical personnel.
And I don't even know that firefighters have partners on shift.
I don't know.
I don't know that's like a thing. I think you're just
I
a
don't-
team, but
I think you're just a team.
yeah,
And you get assigned people based on your skills and the needs of the case.
like anyway, doesn't that matter that much? But yeah,
Doesn't matter. But
so
Hen
Bobby,
gets to go into the harness and go go cliff
yes,
diving.
which annoys Chimney because Chimney is told to stay up top and work the winch, and I don't ever get to do any fun stuff, which we can't say is true or false because we haven't been with them long enough to be like, that's true. Chimney doesn't get to do any hero shit.
Chimney, you have been with this 118 for three episodes now. You don't get to say anything about
Like,
what's fun or not.
we don't know you. We just have to assume that Bobby doesn't let him do fun stuff based on this sentence.
Right.
But he's upset. And the only other thing I noticed during this rescue is that, but anyway, so
A little bit. Working the winch is
it was for the
fun.
winch. Gets down to the thing first. He says, "We're LA Fire and Rescue."
Wrong.
I was like, I mean, maybe that is true, but it
Yeah,
just
maybe
pained me.
that's
I was
their
like,
legal government name.
does anyone else ever say this ever again? I have no idea.
This is the first 3 episodes being written probably by different people.
Probably, yeah. I mean, this is like a very smooth rescue. They get baskets
Yeah.
down for the kids. Everyone's fine. Bobby goes elsewhere to rescue the dad who has like a head injury and he's chill. It's all very smooth. And then at the end, he tells Chimney, nice work at the winch.
Yeah, Bobby's patching up the dad on the gurney and the new wife and the baby and the little kid who gave him the dead ass stink face earlier in the scene run up to him and are like, "Oh my God, are you okay? I was so worried. I thought you were dead." And Bobby's whole face for me just kind
Yeah.
of drops into ice.
Well,
And it's peculiar,
you know,
Robert. I do know, but we don't know.
we don't know anything.
Know anything. Bobby's really upset about the family reuniting. I wonder why.
He's a complicated fellow.
He sure is. And I love him.
Yes. But you know,
Present tense.
a successful day at the 118.
Yay.
Less successful is Athena.
May Grant, my
Yeah, so we have to replay and the timeline of this day, who could say?
who could say?
But we replay the 911 call from the end of the last episode, which is Athena calling 911 because May has overdosed on Athena's hydrocodone prescription. Yikes.
My personal
Yeah.
favorite is Athena is getting May in the ambulance and for a moment forgets she has a second child, which
I know.
fair in the moment.
Understand.
And Harry, I need you to go here. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. Can you do that? Harry Grant, probational firefighter, age 9.
Yep.
Probationary firefighter, age 9.
He's gonna original actor Harry Grant.
Yes, original actor Harry Grant, Proby, age 9.
And they also aren't. I don't recall them giving her Narcan. Are we like pre-Narcan?
Yeah, you think that
No.
would be something Athena would have?
Yeah, she doesn't have Narcan in the house as a cop.
I don't know.
Just
That's
as
a great question.
as an
Yeah, 'cause
LA
this would
PD
not have
officer.
been this wouldn't have been pre-Narcan. I learned about Narcan in Vermont, which was 2015.
So as a cop on the
You would
a street cop,
As a street cop, you would think that you have Narcan in your kit.
but she doesn't. I mean, I can also see her being so out of it with what's going on that it doesn't
Yeah.
occur to her to do anything other than call
Right.
911. She
Other than
forgets she has a
call
second
911,
kid.
She forgets she has a second kid. She's not gonna remember
Yeah.
that her Narcan's in her kit in her car. Like,
Yeah. So we end up at the hospital. We see her waiting. She's not in like a family room, which is interesting. She's just like in the hallway, but like
she's just in the hallway.
whatever. Dr. Robbie is not helping her.
No.
Michael shows up after an unknown amount of time, and Tina tells him what happens, and he blames himself. If you will recall, he has just come out to the family as a gay man. So he is blaming himself that his coming out has pushed May over the edge, which is not
Can you imagine
the guilt.
the guilt that Michael is rolling
Yeah.
through right now?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Michael
Oh,
Grant.
yeah.
Um,
That's rough.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't love this. First, I actually really like Michael, and I really like Athena. I like the Grants, and I don't like what this is doing to them. But I do love the rotating cast of young, beautiful black men that Michael brings in.
Michael's boyfriend is there,
Great.
or
Yeah.
his
His
date.
date, yeah, he's
Because-
got a couple dates. He'll have a couple boyfriends, and they're all so
Gorgeous.
beautiful.
He does well.
Michael's got great taste in men. He's pulling him in left and center.
Yeah, he happened to be on a date when he got the call about May. And Athena's, so instead of introducing herself, she gets a cup of coffee.
I feel like Athena doesn't need a cup of coffee right now.
Does not, but she does not want to be there with this gorgeous
No.
man who is politely staying out of it.
Yeah, he's just, I'm just here
Yeah.
hanging out.
And the timeline of this whole evening is interesting because the doctor was like, we'll come get you or whatever. But Athena then just like walks into May's room
Yeah, just wanders on in.
and her bed has ortho written on it, which I had never noticed before. And I was like,
Oh.
sure, I don't care. Whatever.
Bed's a bed. It's cool. She got
It's-
her own room. That's pretty neat.
Well, she's the daughter of a cop.
Yeah, but they don't really know that yet.
No. And she and Michael talk about how the last time May was in the hospital was when May was born. And I was like, well, that's not a bad run.
No, not a bad run at all. And Athena's just being very misty watercolor memories about it.
Yes.
And it got me all teary. It's okay. She's gonna be fine.
She's gonna be fine. May wasn't on oxygen at all, not even the nose cannula. And I was like,
No.
I think she's gonna be fine.
I love what Michael says that Athena was in labor with May for an hour and a half.
Yeah, she dropped her fast.
We
Yeah.
almost didn't make it to the hospital. May Grant wanted to be here right now.
Yep. So very conveniently, May wakes up while they're talking
Good morning, May.
and is very coherent for someone.
Oh, yeah. She is totally in it. She is bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, paying attention because she immediately, the parents start apologizing like, I did this. We're going to do whatever. And she goes, this wasn't about you, Dad.
Yeah, it's not about you.
It's not about you. I'm like, okay, sass mistress. Okay, yes, ma'am.
I love that she has her story just ready to tell.
Yeah,
Like-
that she's been hiding it and avoiding it for weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're cool.
Yeah, now she's going to tell the whole story. That it's actually because she's been being bullied by girls at school, especially this girl named Layla, who's been telling her, boo, that she should die and that she has no friends and that she sucks. And I hate my life. I'm weird and I have no friends. Now, we don't know anything about her. We don't
Nope.
know that this is true. All we know is that she's cute and she has Athena as a mom.
And she has braces.
And she has braces.
Beautiful curly hair and big bright eyes.
And they're wealthy because of that
And a little
house.
brother. Yeah, and she has a very, they're pretty well off.
I mean, no disrespect to anyone, but it's a little hard to take it seriously because you see none of it.
Right.
I was thinking in hindsight, but season 9 May also has no friends. So
It's true. It's
her,
true.
Her friends are 35-year-old men.
Correct.
Whoa.
And her brother.
And her brother. Yeah.
That doesn't sound great.
No.
Tried to make a friend and some of her other friends crashed out about it.
Yeah. Actually, has it gotten any better? She still has no friends.
No,
Wait
she
a minute.
still has no friends.
Her
But
friends are all firefighters who are double her age. Oh, no.
and old dispatchers
yeah.
and cops and
Oh, no.
I'm
May.
afraid for what's coming for her now.
No, she's fine.
Don't be. No, she's fine.
I know.
It's just really funny to look
No.
back on it to be like,
Yeah. But it is indicative of a writing problem where they just blob everyone together where no one has any other friends. Ravi has no friends. No one has friends.
Buck has no friends. Chimney has no friends.
They're just blob.
Chimney had one friend.
Yeah.
And then she became part of the blob.
Yeah. They're just anyway.
We get one of my favorite lines. Athena is hearing this story about Layla and how May is feeling about herself and is so mad about just everything around May. And so she's trying to hype her up, right? You are special and bright and filled with holy fire. I love anybody who's filled with holy fire.
Yep.
Holy fire.
Holy fire. Yeah, Athena's not fucking around about her daughter.
No, not even a little bit.
No. Oh, but then CPS shows up.
They do.
Because actions have consequences.
Because actions have consequences, but only in season 1.
Only in season 1. May is a minor. So even though everything is fine now, the CPS has to talk to May and they're going to evaluate her because she did attempt suicide and actions have consequences.
And,
I was expecting Athena to fight this a little more, but it was nice to see the rational, this is just what has to happen side win out a little.
For the moment, because I'm sitting here going, Athena, rule follower Grant, that's absolutely something I've come to expect of you.
Yes, for sure. There's not one rule follower amongst them.
Not even a little. My big note for this scene, other than how cool was it for Corinne to be like, oh yeah, I was on set today with Angela Bassett. She was acting her ass off and crying all over me. Like, how cool was that?
That's pretty cool.
That is cool, yeah.
Is that the hospital in season 1 is so sad.
This
hospital set is fucking
dingy. Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Yeah, it's a rough set.
I wonder if it's a set or if it's just like a warehouse somewhere.
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a warehouse, but it's a warehouse covered in season 1 grime.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like season 1 grime.
I mean, so do I. It's very distinct, but it is hard to give.
Yes, this is true. I think could we get one more light in here? Just a little bit of light.
Just one.
So we got Chim, who still has storylines.
He does.
And Tatiana.
The way he called out Tatiana and I went, who?
Who this?
That.
Chimney has a girlfriend? What are we talking about here?
Chimney, stand up. Sir, did you just put bone-in cutlets in the microwave?
Yes, he is pretending to cook a big dinner for his girlfriend when it's all coming out of bags and boxes because Chimney is a fucking liar.
Liar.
He's a liar pants on fire. He is telling her, not only is he fake making dinner, he is telling her that he was the one to rappel down the cliff to save the kids. And that is so hot.
Is it weird that turns me on?
Yeah.
No,
bit.
We do not kink shame in this house, but
bit.
it is weird that your boyfriend is lying in order to do this.
Yes, it is. It is incredibly weird.
It's probably not the healthiest relationship to have, my guys.
You cook, you rappel down cliffs, you're a keeper, Chimney. And then he proposes to her.
He is a keeper, but sir.
This entire scene gave me the ick about Chimney so strongly.
Yeah, I know.
You're not
Like,
wrong.
You're not
he's
wrong.
the main one that I don't feel any attachment to right now. I'm like, you're a little sleazy. You're very horny. The car accident was, we're not there yet, but it's kind of your fault.
I think it's okay to feel this way about early Chimney.
Correct. I think it's
Yeah.
okay to feel this way about early Chimney.
Okay.
Absolutely, because this whole scene gives me the ick too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm open to his character development to come. But right now, I'm like, oh, yeah, you could have not done any of that. And
Yeah.
that would have been fine.
I
So
think
you're-
you're okay.
So later in the episode, when Bobby yells at him, you're Team Bobby Nash.
Well, the other thing is, I don't like Bobby very much right now.
You know what? That's also fair.
Yeah. So as they were talking, I was like, I literally made a note, just kind of nope to both of them.
Other than Abby, who's your favorite right now?
Yes. Buck is also fine.
Okay.
I mean, I think I know what to expect with Buck,
Okay.
but I didn't remember much about Chimney or Bobby or Athena. But May is so cute that I'm just like, Athena gets a pass on everything right now. I'm like, take care of that little girl.
Yeah. What about Hen?
Hannah's fine. I feel like I don't know anything about her yet.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't dislike anything about her, but yeah, she hasn't had a lot to do yet.
Not yet. She'll have stuff to do.
Yeah.
She'll have stuff to do.
I anticipate loving her, but
Yeah, she's barely there right now.
True story.
But Tatiana, she does not say yes. She doesn't say no.
She says, give me a couple days to think about it.
She
Which
also-
honestly is worse than no.
So much
But
worse.
she cheated on her last fiance, which feels like that should be the answer. Like, if
Yeah.
that's her first thought, it's probably not gonna end the way she wants.
Not
And-
great.
Chimney's such a fucking pushover that he's okay.
Okay, great, guys. Chimney Han, stand up, please.
I know, is bad. Which takes us to the fire station where Hen and Buck are playing this firefighter video game.
Oh my God.
And I love this little moment.
So you're fleeing the scene? That's fine. Obamacare.
Flesh wound, Obamacare. I was like, I love this little punk.
I love them
And she's
so
like trying to
much.
take the controller away from him. And he's like, someone call HR. And I'm like, what HR? There was clearly no HR department at this station.
None. Absolutely none.
And that's when Chimney stomps in to bring the mood down. And then I was like, but why? They're all in uniform. He's not. They've clearly been there a while. They're making lunch or dinner or something. Why is he there out of uniform? Like, why does he show up? I'm confused. Anyway, he asks, I'm a good looking guy, right? To the lesbian and the bisexual.
You could do a lot worse, but I've done a whole lot worse than you. Henrietta.
Henrietta.
I love her forever just for that.
And he asks Hen if she thinks he'd be a good father. And she's like, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Also, I'm not quite sure what his age is yet. He's older.
Theory. Well, at least he's older than Buck.
For sure. Buck's got to be like 25?
Mid 20s.
It doesn't matter. Okay.
Yeah.
So then he's, by the way, I asked Tatiana to marry me. And everyone's, whoa. But Bobby's face is like, no, bad. And that's when that was probably for the best, which starts their fight. And Chimney's, the fuck, I'm getting tired of you judging me with your little smirky smirk. And
you know what? He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
Bobby does a lot of judging with the smirky smirks
He does.
because Bobby has a rich inner dialogue that he chooses to share with no one.
Nobody. Absolutely nobody. And Chim calls him out for that, for being like, you talk about everybody else's life, but we don't know shit about you. I haven't even met your wife and kids yet.
Bobby, how did it last this long?
That's such a good question.
How have you lasted so long at this firehouse
I know.
without talking about your family? How did this happen?
I know.
That confused me a lot. I was like, maybe there's some related plot point that he's been lying about it that I just never knew about. But I don't know. The continuity is definitely messing with my head. Things I know from Tumblr or you guys with things that are being said on the show right now.
Yeah. I mean, they'll explain this pretty good, but like they definitely don't know what the truth is. But
Mhm.
I'm just shocked he hasn't said anything.
Yeah.
Or maybe he is lying. Maybe he's talking about his wife and kids and
Well, he
just
just
not
lets
bringing them around.
Yeah.
Assume.
He lets them assume where they'll say, oh, Bobby's got a wife and kids. And he's just like,
Sure thing.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And they reveal here that Bobby is the one who made the dinner for Tatiana.
Bobby
that,
can cook.
yeah, Bobby can cook. And Chim kind of leaves him with this, I feel really bad for your wife, and storms off. And I was like, don't say that to him. Well,
First of all, ouch.
first of all, ouch. But also, I mean, I have qualms with that entire storyline anyway, because it's okay, but wait.
Right. Yeah. We'll get there when we get.
Let me get there.
But I also love when Chimney and Bobby are fighting. Hen and Buck are like at the table and they're trying to pretend that they're not listening.
Yeah.
Chismosos, all of them.
All of them.
The
All of them.
118 are fucking gossips and I love them so much.
They are the
but
biggest
bitches. They're the biggest gossips.
Yeah. They're like putting plates down one by one and like looking at each other. Dude, the slowest table setting you've ever seen in your life.
Don't be suspicious.
Yeah.
Don't be suspicious.
Just join the conversation. Damn. So we stay with Chimney. It's now dark. It's now nighttime.
It's now dark. The station was not dark.
The station was not dark. I know there's lighting in there, but it did seem like there was light coming in the windows.
Yes.
And this is a thing that happens on all TV shows all the time. It pisses me off. Pick a time of day. Just pick. Anyway, so he's driving down the freeway. He tries to call Tatiana. He's in his cute little car. And he's like kind of getting into it with this truck who won't let him pass. He like gets distracted. He doesn't notice there's debris. He swerves around it. And he...
Debris.
Manages to hit the brakes in the far lane before crashing into this concrete lane barrier. And you're like, he's safe. Whew, close call. Until that first truck just smashes into him from behind.
Final destination.
Final destination style, yeah. Whew. And then you hear the 911 bloop bloop. And it's Chimney who's calling 911 for himself.
And he's trying to talk to Abby, the 911 operator, and Abby is just not having it. I can barely hear you speak up.
Abby, he can't.
It's like he can't, friend. He's trying his best, okay?
He physically can't speak up. Leave him alone.
And I get that Abby's doing her job. I get that she's trying to process her calls in an orderly fashion. I get it. And also, I was attached.
Don't talk to Chimney like that.
Don't talk to Chimney like that.
Don't talk to my husband like that. So we go to the station really quickly because someone calls Bobby about... Yeah.
Someone calls Bobby about Chimney. But also, look at Bobby doing equipment checks.
I know.
Look at them doing firefighter work.
Doing some actual firefighter work. Good for them.
Yeah. My gut reaction was that it was Abby that was calling Bobby because that's a habit she has.
I know. But it wasn't. It was Captain Serrano from the 122.
Sure was.
Who I don't know that we ever see again.
I don't think so, no.
It would be nice to know the other captains, but no. Why would we do that? And he's called Bobby to get the 118 to the scene because Chimney won't let anyone else touch him because that's his family. That's his house.
Which is inconvenient considering that between the three of them who aren't in the car, only one of them is a paramedic.
This is the point in the episode that my wife was like, I don't think this show makes very much sense because she was like, there's absolutely no way they would just choose not to treat him until more people got on the scene. Like, they would be doing, like, the people currently there, the paramedics and stuff, wouldn't have just waited for the fire crew to get there.
Yeah, for sure. They would be doing lines and, like, stabilizing him. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's Glee, so.
Literally, that's what we ended up talking about. Because I was like, well,
but it's Glee.
I think that this show is to firefighters as Glee was to show choir. Like,
correct.
100%. Yeah.
100%.
Caricature of something that actually exists.
Yeah.
So we get to see Chimney.
And we get to see Buck driving the engine, which he is not allowed to do.
It's not your job.
It's not your job. Emily has spent too much time on firefighter Reddit. She could tell you everything there is to know.
I mean, is it hot? Sure. It's not your job.
Sure. Of course it is.
And then in season 2, we never see it happen again because there's an actual engineer driving the engine, and that way you play footsie with Eddie in the cab.
It's always an NPC driving.
Always.
In season 2 and beyond.
Because he has to flirt with Eddie over the headsets in the back.
Has to flirt with Eddie over the headset. It's incredible. Sorry, we're getting ahead of ourselves. I love scenes like this where Bobby actually gets to show the social, emotional leadership of a captain.
Yeah.
Because Bobby probably has a heads up on what they're getting into with Captain Serrano's calling.
Yeah.
And you guys need to hang back until I figure out what's going on here. At this point, he's watching out for Chimney, but he's also having to watch out for Hennenbach. I need my team to kind of know what we're about to get into before they actually get in the middle of it. And it was just like, oh, ouch, my heart.
And like he's been, for us watching the show, he's been a captain through 3 episodes, but he's been a captain for a while. Yeah. He knows how to handle a situation. And what we see is Chimney with a piece of rebar impaling him through his skull. Now, the supernatural comparisons between the show and Supernatural are getting ridiculous. But they did do it first. Dean Winchester gets rebarred later.
Poor Dean Winchester.
So in this instance, 911 did it first.
Ooh.
Pretty sure. Because 911 season 15, or 911, Supernatural.
Manifesting.
911 season.
Oh, God.
I'm assuming it'll get there. Yeah, it was like 2019, 2020.
Yeah. So this was first.
Yeah. He is alert and talking, awake and oriented times 2.
He's awake and oriented and cracking jokes.
He doesn't seem to be any pain. He just doesn't know what's happening to him yet.
Yeah, I can't move.
Good.
I can feel my toes. I'm not paralyzed, but I can't bend over.
And I like that he's like, how bad is it? And Buck's, it's not good.
It's not good.
Luckily.
Yeah, because Bobby goes back over to Hennenbach and's like, be cool, guys.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut up.
And I like the moment where they show him his injury using the phone camera.
The phone camera, yes.
That was very cool. So yeah, they gotta secure him somehow. And they're like, well, the brain doesn't have any pain receptors and he's in shock. So let's be careful.
Let's be careful.
And instead of removing him with the saws there, they just secure him into the car and tow the whole fucking car to the hospital.
You know what?
And I'm sure the surgeons there were like,
thank you. How's the car, man? Total loss? Nah. You can probably buff most of that out.
I love Buck. I mean, like,
it's my boy.
What a little doof. But that's the right answer.
That's the right answer.
And he tries to follow Chim in, and we have to get this reminder that their job ends at the hospital doors. Which,
are you family?
No.
Don't ask me that question.
Don't ask me.
Emergency room medical personnel.
Yeah. Don't ask a question you don't want the answer to, bro. We went to watch a little brain surgery. I have only seen, 900 hours of Grey's Anatomy in the pit. I don't know that the surgery looks like what you would do to get rebar. It just looked like the wrong kind. Not that I'm a brain surgeon, but just watching it, I was like, is that
did they check the chart first?
We have to relieve the pressure. I was like, by doing a flap on the others. Okay. I mean, you're the doctors.
How long is this going to take? You know the saying, it's not brain surgery?
Yeah. I was like, I don't know if that's what McDreamy would have done, but okay.
Would Dr. Robbie have just yanked it out? Would Dr. Foreman have yanked it out?
They would have just sent him upstairs and been like, we're done.
Bye.
Bye. But yeah, so that's we have to leave him.
I hate this because in the season 1 haunted hospital, they don't have a waiting room to wait in. They just had to go home.
I know. There's no waiting. It's so weird. Yeah, the set wasn't
so
big
weird.
They didn't have the money for the set.
Not yet.
I was surprised that this took us to Abby. Like in the flow of the episode, I was like, and now we're with Abby. And I was like, oh, okay.
They had to kind of wrench her in there.
They did. Yeah. They really had to shoehorn her into this episode. And I was like, because it's about family.
She deserved better, honestly. At least her storyline did. It just did not fit in this episode.
Because honestly, this storyline is very important to the whole idea of her taking care of her mom. And it does feel very shoehorned. So like they're having a birthday party for her mom, Pat. And obviously she's got Alzheimer's and it's getting progressively worse, even though we have no idea how long it is between episodes. And they've gotten her favorite perfume. And like scent is like this, what do they say? That scent is the strongest sense tied to memory.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really trigger anything. And I thought that kind of would have been an interesting thing to do. But have we met her brother before?
No.
Okay. So this is Abby's brother, Matt. And Matt is worried about Abby having to take care of their mom in home, which he should be.
Correct.
And he's brought a pamphlet for a memory care facility because he put their mom's name on a list a while ago, and now a room has opened up. And Abby is annoyed by it. And so we have, my brother's side. My brothers died of Alzheimer's and their aunt. And they were in memory care homes. And it's like the best thing that you can do for a family member. Trying to take care of a family member who has Alzheimer's is awful. It's hard, it's complicated, it's draining.
It's kind of scary for everybody.
It's scary for everybody.
Yeah.
And Abby's doing this thing like, well, I'm her daughter, I should do this. And
I'm not a saint, I'm a daughter. Like,
I'm not a saint, I'm not a daughter.
ma'am.
Okay, but you're being a martyr and you don't have to be.
Yeah,
And
like
you really
I
are
understand.
Not even wanting to take a tour of the facility is crazy.
Yeah.
Go check it out. Are all care homes equal? Are they all good? No, some of them are scary. But your brother did something good for you by actively, preemptively putting you on a list. Go look at it. Are they expensive? Yes. Is the cost of healthcare and home care exorbitant? Yes. But go look, because you can better take care of yourself and your mom when someone else is carrying the burden for you. That's their job.
It's really hard. It's really scary. It's really expensive. Yes, you're going to deal with the guilt.
Yeah, you will.
And the shame, probably. And also, Abby beloved, you are in your mid to late 40s, maybe early 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Is this all you see of your life?
Yeah.
And I on the one hand, I wanted to wrap her in a big hug and be like, you deserve more than this. But also, she's a grown ass adult and is allowed to make her own decisions, even if I don't agree with them.
For sure.
And she's fictional. None of this matters. I'm so in a billion ways in my head about it. Mandy, you're our resident Abby Clark #1 fangirl. Tell me your thoughts.
I don't think I'm as bothered by it as you guys. And I think that might be more in like my personal experience I'm bringing into it, because I've never known anyone who went into a home. Pretty much everyone in my family is just taken care of in their own home, or they move in with one of their kids, which is probably a future that awaits me at some point. But my parents just say they're going to walk into the woods and die. And that's as far as I've gotten with them in that conversation. Yeah, her hesitance
That's a choice.
It did not read quite as strongly to me. I was just like, okay, I think that she's being a little naive about how much she can handle. A lot naive about how much she can handle.
For
And,
sure.
like, I kind of get it, but also no, she should be like considering the options more.
So we have a brief flash at the fire station of Bobby letting the team know that Chimney is alive, but in a coma.
We love that he's alive. Yay! Coma boy, boo!
Coma #1 in the show.
Coma #1. Coma #1.
All right, we need like a tally board somewhere that's like, how many comas?
How many comas?
How many car accidents does Hen get into? How
Can
many
we all
times does
do
Eddie
a-
get shot?
A buck tattoo count.
Buck tattoo counts. How many times do you want to bite him on the shoulder? The number is
800,000.
infinity.
The answer, the limit does not exist.
I'm just gonna say Mandy is too gay for this.
A little bit.
It's okay.
Yeah.
There will be there's another handful of deeply beautiful sapphic women in this show
Yeah.
that you'll get to know.
I'm
So,
excited for that.
I'm
You're gonna be
I'm
fine.
excited for that. Yeah.
there's plenty of beautiful women for you to chew on, I promise.
I mean,
Yep.
right now I have Connie Britton, and God, if there is like a sweet spot for me, it is like slightly, though I say slightly older in canon. This character is only 2 years older than me.
That's crazy, right?
Crazy.
Yeah, I did have to look up Connie Britton's age to be like, she's not my age. No, I mean,
She-
even like 8 years ago, she was not.
Also,
Yeah.
Emily, Buck was born in 91.
Well, now he is.
Now he is, which puts him at 27.
Okay.
Well,
I
when I
think-
looked it up, it said, yeah, Abby's age was 42, which she says that explicitly, but Buck's age is listed as 26 in the first season. So,
That's approximate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Buck's age and Eddie's ages are
A thing that grind
suggestions.
Emily's gears.
Yes, it grinds my gears. I don't think they had ages when the show began. I think they were just like, Buck, white, American, mid-20s.
Mid-20s.
And then later they were like, you know what would be funny? Let's give him the same birthday as the actor, because that's stupid. So they gave him the same birthday as the actor, and we're like, no one will care. Yeah, we care. We
care all the
always
time.
care. What do you mean we
We always
don't care about a character's birthday? What are the important things about the characters? How deeply wounded are they on the inside? What color are their eyes?
And what are their what's their
birthdays.
sun, moon, and rising?
We care. What do you mean we're not going to care? Oh, now suddenly the other character who should be older than him is a year younger? Get the fuck out of here.
Emily feels very strongly about
Very
this.
Junior Blaine is stamped on the back of my eyelids. Like, I can't.
Junior Blaine is real, correct, and a crime. I don't care much about Buck's age, honestly.
I care that they're trying to tell me that Eddie is like a year younger.
Eh.
I can't see it. It just, no. Especially because
We'll
Ryan
get there.
Guzman is 5 years older it's stupid.
We'll get there when we get there.
It just doesn't make any sense. Anyway, call number 4. Well,
Call
3,
number
depending on
4.
how you count them. We get another 911 call. Someone has called because they are hearing people screaming inside the back of a container truck. A normal day.
Yeah.
Tragic. There's no driver. The doors are locked. And it's fucking hot. So
Because it's fucking hot.
it's not going well. The 118 shows up. The cops are there. Buck goes to get his favorite thing, tools.
Buck loves a toy.
He loves a toy. They saw open the locks on this container truck to find just dozens of people inside this container truck. Not dead, but like almost. They're getting there.
Yeah. Very hot.
Yeah. And these are immigrants attempting to cross the border or have crossed, I guess, at this point.
Yeah, because they're in LA.
They're in LA now. So we have I don't even know what you would call this, like just a driver who has abandoned the truck for some reason. I'm not sure what happened here.
He just pulled over and just walked away.
Kind of, but he's in like the crowd.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, I
for
didn't
whatever reason
understand.
hanging out in the crowd of onlookers looking at the truck.
Yeah.
I
'cause
literally thought I had missed something with how like he just disappeared
I
and
have
then was getting like
no
tackled.
idea.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like something was missing in the
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, why did he pull over and leave them behind? Did the truck break down?
How does Hen spot the driver in the crowd?
How did it know what the driver?
Well, his license in the
yeah, okay.
cab.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
That-
she
that
saw
makes
it.
sense.
She saw his license in like the visor in the cab.
Okay, I missed that.
And then was like happened to spot him in the crowd. But like, why was he hanging out in the crowd? Did he think he was going to get his
Why?
truck back?
Why was he hanging out in the crowd? Was he on the way back to his truck? And
Do you think that maybe he pulled over to go get something and then
I
people...
think so.
Okay, I had the impression that it was like abandoned.
No, because it was in
A
parking
parking
lot.
lot? Yeah. Okay.
But
I guess. Yeah. So yeah, maybe he had just pulled over to go get a drink.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
had been there
I
long enough
guess.
that people like called and reported it, and then
Right.
actual authorities arrived before he drove off. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Because yeah, they'd been there like maybe he stopped to eat something
yeah,
maybe.
because it wasn't a
yeah.
gas station. I don't know. Yeah,
I,
it was.
I have no idea.
But yeah, she tackles. I did like her flying tackle. That was pretty sweet. Especially because even Buck was like, "Damn."
Whoa. Thought we weren't going to blow off any steam, Henrietta.
Yeah. Because they're a little on edge about Chimney, rightfully.
Yeah,
But yeah, so then his phone rings
it sure does.
and Abby's, you answer. You always answer. That's so sweet. Is this a bad time? No, I'm on a call. So it's a bad time.
Evan.
And Buckley, it's a bad time to
Your
answer.
job. Yeah, when you are actively like an emergency responder, you cannot answer sometimes. Actually,
Yeah, this is actually the worst time. There are people falling out around you because of the heat and not having water and almost dying.
Yeah, remember 30 seconds ago when you opened the door to a lot of people who were overheating
Mhm.
and there was a young boy inside who wasn't responsive?
Yeah.
And you carried his little body outside and gave him CPR until he started to breathe again.
Yeah.
And then in the stumbliest Spanish I've ever heard says todo bien.
Todo bien. Sounds like me trying to do it. Come on.
Oh my God, my guy.
Like, this is maybe a bad time
Perhaps.
to answer the phone. And he's, no, I'm just going to let everyone pick up my slack.
It's cool.
But she's calling,
She's got it.
Abby's calling about her mom. And she tells Buck about her Alzheimer's, which he didn't know yet. And she's talking about maybe Pat needs more professional help and all this kind of stuff. And Buck's answer is the only thing that matters is family. Buck, no, think about your family, which I don't think his backstory exists yet. But like,
No, it does not, for sure.
Buck, no, that's actually not true. Family is not the most important thing because sometimes your family sucks ass. So, like yours, maybe.
Like yours, maybe.
I just don't think at this stage he has his family story. I don't think it's...
No, it doesn't exist yet,
Yeah.
for sure.
I think they're still thinking about that.
And I've been thinking about this for 2 days now. When Buck and Hen get to the scene, Buck's really mad and is just looking to throw hands. And Hen's, we don't want to blow our stack. We just want to cool off, and we're gonna do our jobs, right?
Mhm.
And then Hen yoinks the driver out of the crowd, and just knocks him one. And Buck was like, "Don't blow up," or whatever the hell it is that he says. I thought we weren't supposed to blow off steam. And Hen goes, "You know what you can blow?" And my little ass goes, "I sure do, Hen. Something really hot coming out of Texas, just like this truck."
Mhm.
I thought I was very funny. I was not very funny, but I thought I was hilarious. Past me was getting it.
Has Eddie arrived in LA yet? Has he followed Shannon from LA yet?
Does he go to the academy in California or in Texas?
We don't know.
Oh, interesting.
We don't know.
Sorry, I'm just like gleaning things here. I don't know. I
we're-
mean, I already know most of like the beats of the Eddie and Shannon stuff because that was very heavily discussed on top.
And some
it
of it
didn't
is
occur to me that was concurrently happening.
well, some of it is conjecture that you have to look back on.
Yeah.
Because they're writing season 1 without season 2. So then you get to season
Right.
2, and then you think about seasons 3, 4, 5, and 6, then you learn lore, and you're like, okay, well, wait. If I take that back to season 1, does that mean that Eddie was already in LA during season 1? If I take what they said to be true. Or did he because his probie year is season 2.
Yeah.
No, he's never treated like a probie. But that
Never
means
once in his whole life.
But that means the year before he was doing the Fire Academy. But was
He was doing the Fire Academy
already in LA, or did he do the Fire Academy in Texas? We don't know.
Well, because, sorry, Mandy, if you don't want spoilers, please cover your ears.
No, go ahead. I mean, I'm gonna be spoiled and then forget so many things before we get there.
In season 3, Eddie talks about having been accepted to fire something in LA and Chicago. And then he picks LA. But I don't remember if he knows that's where Shannon went. I don't remember. I haven't paid attention in a minute. And so I don't know if he got the academy into LA and New York.
Right.
Or LA and Chicago, or I don't remember, unfortunately.
The other thing of it is I have to believe that the writers don't care the same way.
Right.
That they're not keeping
score like we are.
They're not keeping a character sheet like we are.
No.
And I kind of think that's important to remember when you're trying to lay reverse groundwork, where you're like, well, let me build Eddie's character history back up. And you're like, I don't think it lines up, actually. And
no, they didn't.
You just have to deal with that and move on. And sometimes it's hard to move on.
I've never once been able to move on successfully from anything in my life.
Never once moved on.
Never once moved on from anything.
Yeah. Never, ever. And nor will I, frankly.
No, ever.
Yeah. So anyway, speaking of not moving on, Bobby, of all people, goes to see Tatiana, where we learn that Chimney calls Bobby Gary Cooper, which is hot.
Correct.
Bisexual king Chimney Han.
Bisexual king Chimney Han. Everyone is queer until confirmed otherwise. Okay.
No evidence of Chimney's bisexuality. And yet, why not?
There is no evidence, and yet there is no evidence to the contrary. Everyone is queer until proven otherwise.
This is true. So Tatiana's kind of annoyed that she's had a ton of visitors.
I don't understand, but okay.
Yeah. I think she's feeling guilty because she doesn't want to marry him.
Oh, for sure.
And Bobby's, listen, the firefighters are a brotherhood. Someone goes down, we show up. And she's, yeah, but I'm not family. And Bobby
she doesn't even seem to really like him. And I feel like
no, she doesn't.
Being very upfront about that. Yeah. Bobby, Chimney, y'all let her live.
That is where I am at in this stage. I'm just like, let her go. Damn.
She's not pretending. In fact, she's actively saying, no, actually, I think I would rather not lie to spare a man's feelings, even if he's in a hospital.
Yeah, because Bobby's there to convince Tatiana to visit Chimney at the hospital as he comes out of his coma for like care and comfort and whatever. And I'm like, I actually think that would be worse. Hey, she's here just for you to wake up, but then she's gonna peace out because she doesn't want to be around you. And I'm like, she's got a point, man. She's doesn't have to play like she's in love. Let her go, man. Like, this scene was very strange to me. Other than I guess Bobby trying to be nice to Chimney after getting mad. I don't know. I was like, just let her go.
Like delivering a woman who recently turned down his proposal to him feels like you could just get him candy or something instead.
Get him a cake.
Just get him a
Well,
stuffed
get him a
animal.
cake.
Yeah.
Get him a cake.
Yeah.
Flowers, cake, something. I don't know, but let that woman go. She don't want to be here.
She doesn't want to be there. She really doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
And on the one hand, we can absolutely villainize her for, you don't want to be there. But on the other hand, she's trying, this is the chance to make a clean break.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Because Bobby, at this point, gives this monologue, which I have written down.
Oh, okay.
Because Bobby is trying to convince Tatiana to show up at the hospital. And he says, my friend is coming out of a medically induced coma. I don't know if he'll ever fully wake up. And if he does, I don't know if he's going to be able to talk or see or hear or even remember who I am. I am not asking you to love him or marry him, and I'm not judging you for your feelings. I'm not. I'm just saying he loves you, misguided as he may be. And the only two things I can think of to help him are to pray and to hope that if you're with him, he'll feel that love for you and it will give him a reason to find his way back to us.
But,
and
no,
like,
don't guilt her. Shut the fuck up, Bobby.
I get where he's coming from.
Yeah.
And also let her go.
Yeah.
He's reaching for straws.
How about just
And,
all
like,
of the
I
118 be there?
understand.
Just have everyone
They
at the
will be.
house.
It's gonna be fine.
Just that's all he needs.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
Yeah. Okay. So we have that moment. And then we have a little more cramming of Abby and Carla in this episode. And I feel like it just needed its whole other thing. But Carla sees the pamphlet and she's like, am I out of a job? And Abby talks to Carla about this memory care home. And Abby's, I want my mom to be with me, which I get
That's
the
a more
sentiment.
honest answer.
Yeah, that's a more honest answer.
Yeah.
It is a more honest answer. I feel like it needs an entire episode of discussing what that means.
Yeah.
And not just, I want to take care of my mom. Okay. But also, it's so much work. And you have a full-time job and anyway. So it feels like this could have been more. So then we have Athena. We're not wrapping up the storyline. We're just continuing it. She is staking out May's high school.
727 L child endangerment.
And she finds Layla. Apparently the only girl named Layla in the school yearbook.
And she's so conveniently stationed next to May's old friend, Georgina.
Yes. This is the girl who's been bullying her. And Athena's just got a little eye on her coming out of the high school. And it's not weird that there's a cop posted up outside a high school in LA because that's what we do.
That's what we do.
So Athena's got her eyes on her. And then he wakes up in the hospital with barely a swollen face.
Yeah, it's cool, guys. We did a little brain surgery. He's totally fine.
He's got like a little couple stitches in his forehead. His head
eyes are a little swollen.
is not wrapped. I was like,
no, not at all. Does it even have all of his hair still?
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's assume the entire back of his head is shaved. Just
let's just assume that his head is shaved. We're just gonna pretend.
But just this delicate couple little stitches in the front, even though 1.5 inches of rebar came out of the front of his skull.
It's fine, guys.
God.
We're fine.
The amount of packing you'd have to do to fine. It's fine. Can't have an ugly Can't have an ugly actor. God forbid. So Bobby, Hen, and Buck go to visit Chim, not the rest of the 118 because fuck those guys.
No, just the core family.
Core.
Robert.
Buck looks like a baby somehow.
A literal infant child.
He should really be in the maternity ward. Small child.
Small child.
Like, good thing he's there with his dad because otherwise he'd have to have it's not good. Bobby takes Chimney's hand and they're all kind of gathered around the bedside. And then Buck's like, when you come back to work, you can do the maneuver to motivate him to get better.
I have 1,000 questions because Hen the whole time is like, he can't do the maneuver.
Yeah.
And I need to know, why can Chimney not do the maneuver?
I assume that she was like, because he's injured and it's going to take a minute.
I guess, but that's not what he meant.
I don't know why they're so like Chimney. Is it because he's short? I don't know.
Maybe. Because he's not strong enough to shove somebody that he'll just bounce off. What is the...
I don't know why they're so mean about the maneuver.
They're so mean about the maneuver, which, by the way, never comes up again.
Never happens again, but he gives a weak little thumbs up. And they're all so happy that he's alive. And Bobby's like, his family's right here.
I'd like to state for the record that it took him 3 episodes to go from "we're not a family" to "we're a family."
Yep, sure did.
Thank you, Robert Dash Grandpa.
Yep. Really couldn't hold that back at all, could he?
Took him 3 episodes to be like, "We're a family. His family's right here." Also, speaking of bisexual Chimney Han, never confirmed, but everyone's queer until proven otherwise. This is the beginning for me of Bobby and Chimney's awkwardly placed and yet undeniable chemistry. It's a little weird. And yet,
Allison
And
ships
yet.
everyone with everyone.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
It's my Teen Wolf problem. I'm very sorry.
It's okay. We forgive you for it.
Thank you. It's going to become a problem later.
Fair.
Now I'm intrigued.
You weren't intrigued by us before?
I don't have this problem.
Shush.
I'm a perfectly respectable shipper.
Wow. First of all, throwing fire. I'm going to get injured over here.
Yep.
It's going to be very sad.
I do it properly.
It's all right. It's all right. Just because I have an OTP doesn't mean I'm not OT flexible, okay?
OT curious.
OT curious, guys.
It's kind of perfect, actually.
I would if I could. I can't do it. It's terrible.
I'm so excited for the day. One day, far off in the future, Emily's going to find some piece of media where it becomes like a multi-ship situation, and she's just going to not know what to do with herself.
Would that I could. There would be many more options to enjoy.
For real. There's so many more options
Would
to enjoy.
that I could, but damn it.
I feel like you are really close to getting there with the Plain versus Sublane.
That's my
Yeah,
closest,
true.
and that's because Kurt pisses me off sometimes. I could more quickly drop Kurt and replace him with Sebastian than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could get there real quick. Yeah.
The only mid-game that matters.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, I could think on that one.
All right. Well, Bobby's sitting with Chimney, stroking his thumb, finally being a family. We don't know where Tatiana is.
Because she took those meals and she left.
Abby is just having her own very sad, emotional moment at her home.
Yep.
And we're just trying our best.
Yeah, everyone's feeling really good.
Yeah.
Everyone's having a great
Everyone's
time.
feeling great.
Yeah. And this is our comfort
We're
show,
all
you
having
guys.
a good time. This is such a comfort show. Everyone's feeling great.
Yeah. It gets better.
And then worse again.
And then better. And then worse.
And then worse. And then sometimes it's happy and then worse.
And then worse.
Eh.
And then we enter a collective state of delusion and then worse.
Yeah. Collective delusion? What are you talking about? Not me.
Yeah, it's fine.
So how was everyone's hair this time?
Well, okay, it was not great, but then I remembered we were talking about Buck and how he gets orange arms. And then I remembered season 3 Buck hair.
Ugh.
And I'm so grateful for season 1 Buck hair.
Ugh. Hair and makeup department, where are you? We need to talk to you.
Yeah, everyone goes on their ups and downs.
Yeah.
Everyone goes on their ups and downs. That's all I got.
Life's a-
Bobby was looking great.
Bobby
was looking delightful this
alive.
episode. So was Athena.
Chimney's
May Grant with her little pigtails.
Yeah,
It was
Chimney's
very cute.
part was unfortunate.
Yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily remember Abby's hair, but it's Connie Britton.
It looked
And so I
great.
have to believe in my heart that her hair was flawless.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Safe
her hair looked
assumption.
great. Yeah, it's kind of messy, kind of big. Looks great.
Yeah. Gorgeous. Perfect.
Yeah, there's. Let's see. I don't think you see anyone out of their uniforms in this episode besides Chimney in his just like norm. Yeah.
Tatiana had great hair.
Yeah.
she
I
was
mean,
gorgeous.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we never see her like randomly again, do we? She doesn't just like
No,
pop up.
we see her one more time.
Oh, okay. That's right. We do. I forgot about that.
We do.
Well,
I like scenes in this episode.
Yeah.
I don't think I love the episode as a whole.
yeah.
I would love to see a different cut of this episode.
Yeah.
I think
It's
it was
kind of
not-
you go.
I was just gonna say, I think this was not a great like first heavy focus on Chimney. To me, I don't
Mhm.
know.
Well, I don't think it helps because that proposal scene gave me the ick. It gave
Yeah.
me
A setup that makes me not really like him, followed by something tragic happening to him that does not hit me the way it should. For one thing, I knew he lived, so it's not like
Right.
there was any suspense. But also, I was just like, I don't really care. This is not moving the needle for me in either direction. And then Bobby's conversation with her, where he's, I don't know, trying to guilt trip her into staying with a guy. I don't know. It didn't feel like the greatest introduction to either of those characters.
Yeah. I was going to say
Yeah.
it wants to be like a load-bearing episode with this big
Not-
tragedy
Yeah.
for Chim and like the family coming together at the end, but it doesn't quite make it.
No.
Also, he's got real family, right?
He
Doesn't he have?
does, but they're in
Uh,
soul.
Wait, I know his parents aren't there, but he has like a sibling or something, right? Or no?
We'll get there.
Okay.
Sorta. We'll get there when we get there.
Okay.
Yeah. Because this
Right.
is a setup. I agree with you, Emily. This is trying to be like a load bearing plot episode,
Mhm.
but that's the next episode.
Yeah, it is.
That really kind of helps you figure out who's who and why people are where they are.
Mhm.
That is much more helpful and impactful.
Yeah.
And so this one just kind of falls by the wayside. I do almost have to wonder, oh my God, what is his name? Kenneth Choi. There
Yeah,
it is.
I was like,
I wonder if he had other obligations,
oh,
if they had to write him out at this point of the season.
interesting.
I don't know.
He shows up in a bazillion movies, and you're just like, oh, hey.
Yeah. I'd like to point out for the record that I've now seen him in 2 different medical shows as an OB.
Interesting.
He's in the baby department
Yeah.
in at least 2 shows.
Huh. Okay. I texted
So-
you because I was watching some random fucking Chris Pratt movie on Amazon, and he shows up as an LAPD officer, and I was like, that's not your job.
That's not your job,
I'm
sir.
sorry.
Are you undercover?
Yeah, sorry, you're a firefighter. I don't know what you're doing in this uniform, but this is not your job, sir. Chimney, no. And he
Sir.
died, and I was like,
Sir.
he stays busy.
Yeah,
Book
he
him
really
busy.
does. He stays busy. It's the broom salesman from Halloween Town, and I've loved him since then.
Yeah,
So yeah, this episode, I like a lot of scenes in this episode.
I
I
do too.
like the directions it takes people, but the episode itself doesn't do a ton for me.
No, doesn't.
There was not enough Abby to me, but also what was there was like just her mom's storyline.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I wish that she had something else to do. I do wish we'd had like more of her like following through on a call or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with you. That's something that I wish we got more of in season 1 is that so much of Abby is about her mom.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
don't love
Her
that.
she has no personal life because she
Yeah.
got dumped a year ago, and she's kind of sort of got a thing. She keeps calling Bug,
Mhm.
but her entire home life is caring for her mom.
Yeah.
And her entire work life is something that we never see.
Yeah. Which didn't really
And so
occur
by
to me
the-
until just now. Oh, we don't see it
Yeah.
the same way.
We actually
Mhm.
don't see. I would love to have gotten to know Abby as a character outside of
Yeah.
Buck.
Me-
But
so-
while we learn,
Even in terms of Buck, I wish that we had like a scene, even of just them talking in this episode that wasn't about her mom, essentially.
yeah,
That would have been a nice little, still fits in with what they're driving towards, but gives her a little more depth.
yeah, I agree. I think one of the reasons I get so frustrated with her is I'm just so frustrated with her storyline. Yes, your mom is really sick. Yes, you are spending every ounce of brain power you have caring for her. Yeah, it's making you have a very small focus on the world.
Mhm.
And as a character, for me, that's not as interesting to watch.
Yeah. Totally.
And I wish I could. That's what's one of the things we get a little more in season 2 is that we actually get to start to know people outside of their job a little more, like we do with Athena.
Mm.
Because we see very little of Athena in her job doing job things that are unrelated to the fire department.
Mhm.
But we do get a ton of her home life.
Yeah.
And it helps to kind of break that up and help make her a more well-rounded character. And I would love to see anything about Abby that would
Yeah.
relate to her mom.
Although for me, and this doesn't really start to happen until in later seasons, I do want the balance to come back to the calls and less
Yes.
about the personal lives. Like
Yeah, because we've swung
too
the
far in the other
other
direction.
direction.
Yeah. I want to come back to just silly, goofy, fun calls and not everything happening to the 118 all the time.
Yeah,
Sometimes things can happen to other people.
Yeah.
this episode was kind of a drag in that sense. Just in
Yeah.
that it's just, I don't know. bad things happening to main characters.
And that's what seasons 7, 8, and 9 are. Bad things happening.
7, 8, and 9 are just bad things happening to main characters.
There are some people in the fandom who love that. And I'm so glad you guys are being fan service for the last 3 seasons. But me, I would like silly, goofy fun calls, like, and occasionally things happen to them because they have personal lives. Not that they're being hit by cars every day. Because that's insane.
That's what the scholars on AO3 are doing.
That's what AO3 is for. If you want your characters to be shot, do it yourself.
Right.
That's your job. That's not the show's job.
I've done terrible things, my beloved 118.
And like, we can have a mini episode about NDE culture, but that's not the show's job. Stop it. That's your job as a fan artist and a writer. You kill the character, not the show. Stop it. I don't understand.
Stop it.
You murder them, not the show.
Yeah. There's, in seasons, I think it's like really, we launch from season 1 until 2 and 3 and 4, where they really kind of start finding that balance a little better.
Yeah.
Thing that I really appreciate about early seasons is that you get at least 1 or 2 kind of full season arcs. So this kind of full season arc is a little about Abby and a little about Bobby.
Yeah.
They kind of go through like a tip to tail. This is where we started, this is where we end up, as opposed to just like Buck, who's just, I'm here, or Hen, who's, I'm also here.
Still have never seen Hen's anything. Like, does Hen have a life?
Yeah.
We don't know. Who could...
Earlier, when I was naming the characters and what I was feeling about them so far, I genuinely did forget Hen existed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I find it hard to remember Hen early in season 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is heartbreaking. I love Hen.
Yeah. Who could say what Hen's life is like?
She has a home. Eventually she'll become kind of a lot like Abby. She's got a home life with home characters and a work life with work characters. And then there's nothing in between.
Yeah. They got to figure out some balance again. There's some stuff.
Yeah. They've swung a little too far in the other direction.
Definitely.
But yeah, I don't know.
I love this fucking show.
I do love this fucking show. Does it drive you crazy? Yes. Will I keep watching it? Yes.
Give me 20 fucking seasons of it. Stat.
Let's go. Stat.
Pump it into my veins.
I'm still here, even though this episode was not the strongest.
No, it wasn't. And that's okay.
That's okay. Not all of them can be load bearing.
No, they can't. All right. We're going to call it quits on this one.
Do it.
Well, thank you for listening. We will catch you the next episode of 911.
You've been listening to 911 on the Rocks, a Fandom on the Rocks podcast. For more episodes, including Pack Dynamics and Glee on the Rocks, check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever else you get your podcasts. To support the pod, subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/Fandom on the Rocks. Subscribers get early access, unbelievably long mini episodes, and even a postcard or 2. Hang out with us on the internet, on Tumblr, TikTok, and Instagram at Fandom on the Rocks. We'll talk to you later, but until then, don't say the Q word, okay?